Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back doing your October 2017 monthly tarot horoscopes. This is for everyone with their ascendant, sun, or moon in the lovely Virgo. Yay, I'm Virgo! Actually, I recorded some other signs first because, well, that's just kind of how it went this time around. I was kind of skipping around because I don't know. I was inspired to do certain ones at a certain time. I don't know. That's just kind of, I didn't go in order this time. I think mainly because I didn't want to end up with Libra at the end. I wanted to have, because I always end up with Libra at the end and they always have to wait the longest and it's not fair to them, you know? And Capricorn too, I didn't want to have them wait, you know, a lot of times because they're at the tail end. I always usually start with Aquarius. So anyways, okay, Virgo. Okay, so just so you guys know, I also do private readings. My readings, you can check out, you know, my pricing and everything on my website, oracledaphne.com, if you'd like to get a reading. Definitely hit me up for one. The process is really simple to do that. If you'd like to support my channel, you can click on the links to my GoFundMe campaign as well as Patreon in the links below. And I am like ready to go here for you guys to see what you guys are gonna get for October 2017. Just gonna shuffle a little bit more. There we go. I feel like this month is going to be kind of challenging a little bit for everyone here and there. It's not going to be like smooth sailing for any one sign, and it's not going to be terrible for any one sign. Although if you have any planets in Aries, I feel like they're kind of going through a tough time. I feel like the end of October is going to bring you some challenges, but you might not even feel it because I feel like there's some energy that's really like there's like this cluster of positive energy that makes me feel like you are like untouchable in some way. You're untouchable, like you're on a cloud, like you are like not high exactly, but like you're feeling really, really great the beginning of October, and like nothing can really stop that. Like it's like, even though there's a few negative cards, it's almost like nothing is really going to bring you down. And you may have the perspective that nothing can bring you down, and I like that. It's very, very positive. And I feel like Virgo, you have the sun as a foundation, and that's being like supercharged up, having a lot of energy. And there's this cluster. I'm going to talk about this cluster of positive energy. We have the Page of Wands, the King of Wands, the Sun card. If you can see them all together, it's like super bright yellow energy. So it's sort of like you're unstoppable. In the beginning of October, you're unstoppable. Yeah, there may be shit, you know, the sky may be falling, and literally, because you have the moon card crowning you, it may feel like the sky is falling, you know, on top of you, and you don't even care. You're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go out and, you know, do this and do that, and you're just like, you're super charged up, you've got fire under your butt to get things done, and you're doing it, and you're living it, and you're like, you know what, I'm just not gonna care about any of this other shit that's going on. You also got the devil, you know, too, showing up. So it's sort of just like, you may be plagued by, you know, fears and doubts and worries, which is normal for Virgo. And then the devil, which is like feeling like you're enslaved in some way. Your soul getting sucked out in some way. Having to deal with some negative bullshit, you know, some negative naysayers or some negative Nancy comments or negative stuff, you know, and, you know, cords of attachment issues. But in some way, it's not going to touch you. I don't feel like it's going to touch you until the end of October, in which you may have to face some stuff, some real hardcore stuff, because we have the Eight of Swords in reverse plus the Two of Swords, and that's going, to me, it's total opposite points of view, breaking free and then over caring. So on one hand, you may not give a shit about anything. And on the other hand, you may care too much. You may be offering your heart to someone who doesn't want it, or you may be in love with someone who's emotionally unavailable and can't return that feeling or sentiment. You know, so on one hand, you're disconnected. You don't want to talk to someone. On the other hand, you want it very much. And I've never really met a Virgo who... I feel like the Virgo who was disconnected. I feel like Virgos need the contact. So this may irritate you in some way. There may be some element of a disconnect with a person. There may be some element of the disconnect with other people in your life, and you may be maybe at a distance from people, or just not really wanting to talk to people at the end of October. And I think part of it is like I feel like it's like self-preservation. I want to say it's like self-preservation mode, where you are trying to conserve or preserve not your energy, maybe it's your energy, your positive perspective, or things that are going on. Like in some way, it's like you want to have fun, and you're not going to accept, and maybe other people like around you like are kind of Debbie Downers. I would look at your friendships and the people around you, specifically any romantic partners. I feel like some of you are with someone who has some either bad habits. This could be smoking or drinking. The Virgo is the person that's in some way like the anchor of the group. And in some way, you may be like in a really great place and they may not be. You know, you may be trying to help them. You may be also in a place where it's just like, you might not be positive or negative, but you're having to deal with people who are, you may be in a group or a room full of alcoholics, you know, or work around alcoholics, you know, or work in a place that's very negative, you know, where there's a lot of different types of people who have their own problems. It's not going to affect you too much, but in some way you need to look out for or be cognizant of how much negative energy is coming your way and how much negative energy you're able to cope with, okay? To me, it just feels like you're around a lot of negative people, but you may be in contact with a lot of negative people too. People that have a lot of problems, you know, people that don't know where they begin and end. And yeah, you or your soul may kind of be getting a little bit sucked out by your job or by a situation with a person, could be a relationship, that's not healthy. You know, that's what I'm seeing. I do feel like there are positive people in your life, but there's also all this negative. There's all this negative. So that's just something I'm seeing. Let me see if there's other messages though, because I think there's another story to tell here with this. Okay, there's more of a story than just that in October for you guys. I feel like there's an element of travel, and or you got the horse card, which I really like in my Native American deck, and the horse is wanting to feel free, kind of being in that place of someone like almost a little bit rebellious or wild. You may be getting in touch with a little bit of a wild side, you know, in October. Virgo doesn't really have, I've never really heard of a Virgo who had a wild side, but I do feel like Virgos can be a little bit twisted in some way. And so like on one hand, they could be a little bit wild. On the other hand, they can be totally straight laced. So with their persona, they may put out to others as maybe very conservative, but like behind closed doors, you may not be. So there's something about that. But to me, this is also being bold. You know, the horse is bold. The horse is loyalty. The horse is friendship. The horse is sort of like, again, that element of freedom, wanting to run, wanting to go someplace and see the world and do things. And it's a beautiful card. Some of you are in positions of leadership too, and or other people are going to be looking up to you, or you have a lot of people who do look up to you. I do see that. If there's someone that you're wanting to see that's not in your life, they're going to pop up again. So if you are waiting for someone to come back, I definitely feel like that someone is going to pop back up. I definitely feel like there's something about someone who's coming and going in your life in some way. So you may be in a relationship where there's someone who's coming and going and they're never really there, or you may be in a longer distance relationship and somebody's not there too. You may have that kind of like safe type of relationship where someone, it's like a part-time relationship. It's not even a real relationship. It's just they show up, you have sex with them, and then they leave. And then you don't see them again for, a month or several weeks or 2 months or 6 months or however long it takes for them to come back. But it's like there's this element of coming and going. Some of you are very focused on career. Some of you males are overly focused on career, and there's not enough of a relationship focus. For a lot of you, there really isn't a lot of relationship focus here. Some of you are going to be falling in love with a fire sign male, I want to say, and or either your partner has some very strong fire in their chart, or you may also have some very strong fire in your chart. We're talking Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries. There's also someone who's very aggressive around you. I don't know. You have to watch out. You have to watch out for males that are too aggressive. Okay. Some of you may think you can handle it, and others, it's, my suggestion is let it go. If there's a relationship that's, where someone who's very, very aggressive, overly aggressive, it's too aggressive, I want to say, for you. But going back to falling in love, yeah, so some of you are going to be falling in love with a fire sign. I do also see there's elements of conflict for some of you. Some of you who are in a relationship, it's a cycle where there's blame and victimization, fault finding. Virgos can be the perfectionist. I'm not saying it's you. You could be watching for someone who's the perfectionist with you. You could be a fire sign female. You could be a fire sign male. You could be watching for the Virgo, and the Virgo is constantly saying, you did this, you said that, but what about this and what about that? And you have to defend yourself. There's something about feeling... and Virgos can feel like the victim. They can always feel like the victim. So in some way, if someone says something to you, you may feel very victimized by it in some way. I'm not saying that's your fault. It's just sort of the way you are. I'm pointing this out here so you're cognizant and conscious of any cycles or patterns that you're in a relationship. Because when we get into relationships, it's a roller coaster ride. We don't know how it's really going to go. Until, we hit those peaks and valleys. And I definitely feel like for some of you, you may suffer from going through periods and you may have come out of a period of time in your life where things were really good and maybe they've turned to shit. Others, they've turned to shit and they're going to go through that high again. It feels like there's highs and lows within that. There's been highs and lows, major highs and lows within your life. So as much as you may feel happiness at times, you also may struggle at times to feel motivated overall. And the weird thing is you have all these fire sign cards sort of clustering together. And it feels like to me that you're motivated at times to get things done, and other times it's hard for you to either complete things or to feel good about things, and or to feel like not motivated. There's something else, to feel positive about what it is that you're doing, or to feel to know that what you're doing is the right thing. And Virgos are very how do you know? And Virgos need the guarantee. They need to know for sure if they're on track. But there is no real roadmap in life. You just kind of have to live life and do the best you can, and we all kind of muddle through it. There is no, like, yes, some of us talk about purpose, and some of you are a little bit lost to what your purpose might be. But if you talk about purpose and you think about purpose, purpose is very simple. It comes down to what are your passions, how to make it, make that happen, and how to avoid getting stuck down any rabbit holes, any setbacks. We get lost because we get set back by something. So recently I injured my foot. I've been telling everybody this. I injured my foot and I felt set back. I felt set back because I was back to where I was 5 years ago. And it was a setback, and I'm getting a tingle on this. So some of you can understand where I'm coming from on this point. And it set me back, and it confused me because it was like, well, what am I really doing? And I've been doing readings and having my YouTube channel, but it just felt in that moment, I felt lost. I felt confused. And so some of you may feel a little bit lost and confused, but it's only because of a setback. It's only because it's been triggered by something that makes you fearful. So for some of you, it's an injury. For some of you, it's a sickness. For some of you, it's a job loss or something that has happened that has made you rethink things. And in that rethinking process, you start to think, oh my God, I have no clue as to where I'm going. And all you need to do, and for the moon card, is all you need to do is ask for directions or ask for help or call a friend or do something that's going to break the cycle. A lot of times people break the cycle by cheating. Okay, I'm just going to say this. So some of you, you're trying to break the cycle that you've been in by cheating with somebody else. And or your partner's trying to break the cycle by cheating with somebody else. And because in some way, anything that breaks that cycle changes the perspective, and it's like our soul cries out for that when we're stuck, when we feel lost, or when we feel like we've been set back. So I want to tell you that I don't feel like you're off track. I don't feel like you need to do anything crazy to get back on track. I just feel like you need to find it in yourself to understand how do I say this? Understand that understand what has happened and understand that you're not really lost. You're not. You're just set back. And all it takes is one phone call. All it takes is one step out the door. All it takes is one, job application or one, anything that's going to change the cycle. One date with someone that maybe you've never met. That's what's going to happen to break that cycle. So to change the perspective, to make you feel better. There are more positive things to come. So for some of you, you need to know there are more positive things to come. There's things to look forward to. There's things to look forward to in relationships. Some of you are empaths, so you can connect on an emotional level to others. Some of you, it's your partner who's like an empath. I'm seeing that. Some of you are, I feel like some of you, it's kind of cute. Some of you have like this simple, focus of, they say, I don't know, when you're dating, or, when a guy comes over, it's like show up and, show up naked and bring food. I think there's something about being naked and, bringing food here too. It's kind of funny. I don't know. It's kind of a funny thing. So some of you, like, all you want is, you're very sex focused, and all you want is to eat well and to have sex, and those are your two priorities. It's kind of funny. That is showing up here. You could be a guy Virgo or you could be a girl Virgo, and those are your like main priorities. Others are like uber career focused and don't really care about relationships that much. I mean, you might, but it's not really there. And It's important that you do things in a community of people with like-minded individuals so you don't feel disconnected, okay? So in October, make sure you're getting together with others. Make sure you're taking time to be with your friends. Make sure that you get to sleep in at least once. There's something about sleep here too. I don't know why that's showing up, but it is. Some of you are not really sleeping. Some of you are, astral traveling. There's this astral traveling thing for some of you, not everyone. If you wake up extraordinarily tired, most likely you're astral traveling and you're not getting the actual sleep that you need because you're astral traveling. So there's something about that here too. Make sure you're getting extra sleep if you're tired, taking naps, going to bed earlier, not staying up too late. I do feel like you're going to feel best in a secure environment. So make sure that it's hard to create security in 2017 because the world feels very insecure. But do your best to create security for yourself, to create a kind of a comfortable nest for yourself or a space for yourself at home where you feel comfortable, where you feel safe, and do things that make you feel safe. That's what I want to say. If that's getting a new lock on your door, get the new lock. If it's, making good meals for yourself, make the good meals. If it's getting a fun painting or a nice comfortable, nice rug or a throw pillow or something for your house, do it. I feel like that's going to those things really comfort Virgo. So make sure you're doing that for yourself. That's what I want to say. I think I'm going to leave out there. Thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, Google Plusing. I'll be back again for more videos, so stay tuned. I really appreciate all your love and support. Definitely give me a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and I will talk to you guys again soon. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. I wish you guys all the best. All right, take care.